Hello, internet people, the world. I, tonight, am going to tell a story, and my favorite kind of story, a ghost story. This story is called The Guy, by me, Stefan Schwarzwald. Negative Art Productions, as you see it. So this started in the summer of 2003, and when I wrote in, the letter I sent stated that this was essentially what tormented me in my teenage years that was unexplainable. I've always been in tune and a part of the weird, but it's since I haven't been as involved in it, but that's because my current place is really peaceful, really positive energy. We actually talk about the house being magical, like in Howl's Moving Castle, and that our black cat is Calcifer, and it's just, I'm in such a good place, and it's amazing. So it's weird to go back to spooky stories when you're not necessarily anxious or scared, but I mean, everyone's a little anxious and scared these days. So it started in the summer of 2003. It was nearing the end of summer. My brother and I were up to some dastardly deeds that teenagers do out in the suburbs when you got nothing to do, and I was always a straight edge kid. I didn't want to drink or do drugs or anything like that. So we would go do a little mischief. Nothing crazy. Toilet papering houses, ding dong ditch, that type of shit. And we were doing that. So we're leaving, and we wait for nightfall, and it's the summer. So because it's super hot, I have this camouflage netting on, and it's really great because I can just wear lightweight clothing underneath and use the camouflage netting. And I had the toilet paper in my left side, and we would pack it in there, kind of like cartridge holders or something like that. And I'd hold it in there, and then I went down to tie my shoe at the end of the block. We'd only been going for a little bit, and it was right at the entrance near the railroad tracks. And I don't know if any of you have grown up near railroad tracks, but there's something about them, just a really weird energy. Hold on, let me make this a little bit better for recording. Oh, that's so much better. Sorry about that rookie mistake. I don't normally record videos longer than 15 seconds to try to get views to grow my channel. But anyway, so if you've never lived near railroad tracks, they're a very weird vibe. I'm not going to talk about all the stories on the railroad tracks. Lots of weird shit's happened growing up around that, and that might be a reason for all the weird energy. Anyway, so we go out and we do our deed. We come back, and we literally made it across to the point where a train was barreling down the tracks. And we just started running to try to beat the train so we could get across the tracks and make it home. And we did. And we're at that same corner where about 10 yards away are the entrance to the railroad tracks. Catching our breath. And I look up. And I see a 7-foot tall humanoid, white silhouette. I hate to say the word silhouette, but that's what I describe it as, like a silhouette outlined a human. Black eyes, black mouth, floating towards me. I'm frozen in terror. I murmur some words and yell my brother's name. There's a guy! There's a guy! Run! Floating towards me. Kind of see him, and he starts to look more like a person. And he goes, and he literally floats into the railroad tracks as the train goes by. Terrified, we took back routes to our house. We went through the back door. We didn't really know what we saw, and we're both panting, sweating, and our adrenaline is going crazy, and we're teenagers. So it's even that much more intense, and we don't know what to make of it. So I'm in his room, and we're debriefing. I don't know. And very silent, except the panting. And I said, "What the fuck was that?" He looked over and said, "I don't fucking know." And that was the first time we saw what my family and friends that had seen it would later call the guy. I know, it's not creative, but we didn't want to say, "Oh, it was so-and-so next door that this happened and he took his life." We didn't want to do that, and I would never call them by their name. There's a lot more stories where that came from, but that is just the introduction. I'm going to start doing these just for fun. I hope to post them at least every week. So you'll get a new ghost story and encounter from my teenage years and beyond. I don't know what this is right now. I'm not going to say it's a podcast because I just started listening to podcasts quite recently. So those of you that know me know that I wasn't against podcasts. I don't know. I guess sometimes I made fun of them. But anyway, they're awesome. And this is just a video. So I will do my best to make a video every week. So if you subscribe, you'll get to hear a new ghost story and encounter. You can ask me questions down below in the comments about how I got here to this point, and I will, and kind of discuss more and dive in a lot more deep. But for right now, this is what you're going to get.